welcome back to another summer reading vlog, you guys. I hope you're all doing well. As you saw in those earlier clips, yesterday I started reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden while I was cooking dinner. I actually had a friend who, he's doing like one of those meal kit subscription delivery services, and he forgot to cancel a week and he got a ton of food. So he's been giving it out to all of our friends. And so I got the pork chops, which is what I made last night. So good, like literally so good. I had never made pork chops by myself before ever, so very proud of myself. However, I also got a lot of reading or listening of a book in. I'm reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. Absolutely insane. I've listened to over 80% of it already in one day. I'll definitely get it done today. You start off with our main character. Her name is Sid, and she is trying to date, okay? So she's on the dating apps. She's meeting up with random people in public places. Like, she's being a very, very safe person about all of this. But as she kind of goes through her dating experiences, a lot of weird things happen. She gets attacked by one guy and ends up kind of getting saved by another one. This guy kind of keeps showing up throughout her, dating experiences a little bit. And so when they begin to date, she starts to kind of realize that there's a few little red flags going on with him. And the whole time there's also a series of murders that are happening throughout the book with people, and they can't quite figure out who it is. And so the whole time you're actually thinking that it's probably this guy that she's dating, especially because they do a lot of flashbacks to his past when he was a little kid, or I guess when he was a teenager. There was some weird things that kind of happened to him and the people that he was hanging out with. So the whole time you're kind of like, oh, I think it's this guy. But there's other guys also in the book that you are like, they could be the killers, because I don't think it's going to be the obvious choice. I know there's going to be twists. Frida likes to do those little twists in there. So I don't think it's the guy that we all think it is. But I have some suspicions of what is going to happen in this book, of who the actual killer is going to be. And I'm starting to get a little, yeah, I just want to finish it because it's so good. So I have a lot of unpacking I gotta do because I was out of town last week. So we're gonna unpack some clothes, get some of that put away, and then I'm actually gonna head back to the gym, and I'll probably honestly finish it within the next like hour or two. I think I have 2 hours left of the audiobook, but I listened to it on double speed, so I should get it done pretty quickly. I'm excited to see if I'm right. You guys, just got back from yoga class, and I did end up finishing The Boyfriend earlier today when I was watering my plants outside. That twist, the whole time, I'll be honest, I even have another Frida McFadden book right here that you might be reading later on in this video, but the whole time I was like, I know that I knew a twist was coming, and I was like, I know what the twist is gonna be. I can guess it. It's gonna be, it's not super obvious, but just a little bit obvious, and I'm pretty sure I know exactly what the twist is gonna be. No. In fact, when they did the twist, I'm pretty sure I gasped out loud. Like, what the heck? That was crazy. Essentially, the twist is, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you. Actually, I'm not gonna tell you because I don't think you need to know. I think you need to go read the book. Essentially, now I am terrified of dating. Don't want to go on a date from a dating app. I don't want to go on a date at all, actually. And I went on a date like last night. So that was scary, I guess, like retroactively looking back. I could have been murdered. I mean, I knew the guy, like we've known each other for a while, so I trusted him. But like, seriously, crazy. Absolutely loved it. I would think I'd recommend it. I'd give it 4.5 stars out of 5. I know it's not necessarily like a summary book, but it was just one that it was available for me to read. So, okay. I have been drinking Liquid Death, the lime version, basically nonstop lately, and I've actually been starting to put my creatine in it because I think it just tastes a little bit better for some reason, even though it's supposed to be tasteless. When you put it in some sparkling water, It makes me want to, I can literally drink it so fast. But before we head to the gym today, I do want to talk about the next 2 books that I am going to pick from today. First one is The Ballad of Never After. Now, if you guys watched my last summer reading vlog, I read the first book in this series, which is Once Upon a Broken Heart. And this is just the second one. So it left on a cliffhanger, if I remember correctly, and I was really upset with how it ended. So I'm definitely get to this book, hopefully in this video. I'm really intrigued. I probably should buy the third one because I think, or not buy it, but get the third one ready to go because it is a trilogy. Curious to see what this one will bring. So that one is an option. This one is a little bit more, definitely summer read. This is My Life with the Walter Boys. I actually started reading, or got this because I started watching the Netflix show My Life with the Walter Boys. And I think I finished it. But I don't know how much the show goes into with the book. I also don't know if this is a series or what. I actually don't know anything really except that I watched the show. So this one I think might be a little bit harder for me to read since I just recently watched the show, and I really don't like it when shows like go based off of books, because then when I read the books I'm like, it's just not the same. So I don't know which one I should read first. Honestly though, when I look at the two of them, I'm kind of more drawn to My Life with the Walter Boys, especially because I just feel like this one might feel a little bit more summery. Maybe it won't because it's based during the school year, but I just feel like the fun cover, everything, it's like fun and springy and summery, so I think we'll go with this one for now. This one's also a YA novel. I guess they're both YA novels, both young adult novels. I've been really liking the young adult genre lately for some reason. I just feel like it's been really fun. They're really, really easy to read, and they aren't like super deep where they're like making me really emotional and cry. So I think that's kind of why I like these ones, because they're just sweet to swallow down and I can read them pretty quickly. So that being said, we'll start on this one and we'll see how we feel about it. I've made it about 115 pages into My Life with the Walter Boys so far, and I have to say, I actually really do like it. There's a few things that kind of frustrate me when it comes to books that are based off of, or TV shows that are based off of books, especially like, it's hard for me when I watch the show first, which I did in this case, because now I'm going back and reading it and I'm like, okay, so much of this is different. It's not the same. And I feel like it's hard, like there's little details, right? Like, so she talks about how she has this blue ribbon that she keeps in her hair, and it's like really important to her in the book, and that is not shown in the show at all. Like that's such a little detail that they could have added. So I'm like, why wouldn't they do that? But then they go and they take like direct quotes and direct like dialogue out of the book that they put in the show. So like sometimes like that, like you decide to go with that over like the little details that can be so easy to do and don't take a lot of time or a lot of effort even, and they chose to like get rid of some of those little details. And I also think with how some of the boys look, and like their hair color, like that's different than what we see in the show as well. So it's just little things, which that stuff I get it, it's like, it's casting and you can't always like help that stuff. But it was just interesting. I feel like so far I do see how some of the stuff is similar. A lot of it is almost verbatim for the show, but there's also just a lot of little details where I'm like, oh, like this is kind of a big deal, and they didn't copy it or they didn't use it in the show at all, or vice versa. In the book, they make it a big deal in the show, and it's not being talked about yet, at least in here. So we'll see what happens, which I know that they have to do things for the show to make it more dramatic and make it interesting, and same with the book. But overall, I am liking it so far. I think this will be a quick read for me. The fact that I've just started and I'm already 118 pages in, like, I think I'll get it done pretty quickly. Alrighty, so let's talk about this book. I just finished it and it is really cute. Okay, overall, it's a cute book. It's a cute YA book. Although I have to say, like, there was some language in here. Nothing like too crazy. And then some of the things that she was like insinuating, like, is that really YA? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I would say this is probably PG-13 more than PG, but yeah, cute book overall. Again, I like it, and I think that there is another book in the series. But what I find just frustrating, and I know that I've said this earlier in this video before, but when you have a company like Netflix come in and have a show called the exact same thing, My Life with the Walter Boys, and it's, you know, it says on there based off of the novel, and even on this book it says that this book is a Netflix series. But is it actually, if they don't follow the book at all? They have the same names for the characters and the same like situation where like her family dies and she's taken in by this other family, and like that's kind of almost it. Like a lot of the storylines that you follow in the show are different in here. It's like in the show, you see that the family is struggling financially. They don't talk about that ever in here. In the show, Alex, one of her love interests, he is big into rodeo, and he gets like this rodeo opportunity to go and train somewhere. And that does not happen in here. He's a baseball player in here. Like, it's just interesting that like there's so many little details like that where they just like ignored them from the book in the show. So I feel like you could have said this was based on this story, but you can't say that it's the same story because it's not. It's literally not. And how this book ends, there's a love triangle that kind of is happening throughout this book, which you do see that happening throughout the show as well. But a lot of the details, again, are just very, very different. And that love triangle pretty much gets well, at least I would say that it's pretty much resolved in this book. And in the show, it's left on a huge cliffhanger. You're like, you don't know what's going on. So already like those two things, like those are pretty big differences, I would say. And I feel like that's where the show left off, to try to make some drama, so that way for the next season they can kind of pick that up again. Whereas the book, it was like kind of resolved a little bit. So those are my true thoughts. Not really sure how I feel about it. I would say overall it's a cute book. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. Nothing mind-blowing, but was glad that I was able to read it. So another one done. Well, I am getting ready to head out on what is probably one of my last road trips for summer. School has officially started back up, but I am bringing 2 books with me since I just finished My Life with the Walter Boys. I wanted to kind of continue on the same vein. I have quite a few books that I have checked out from the library right now, but the one that I'm most excited to read currently is The Love Haters by Catherine Center. This one came out this year, I believe, and everyone's been talking about it. I love how it has like sprayed edges here, so it's blue edges on the side. And I finally got it from the library. It has come up for me, and Catherine Center is actually one of my favorite authors. She always writes clean romance, and I just think that's something that would be fun to read, especially towards the end of the summer. It also looks like a fun summery like cover with these people in some pool tubes, so I'm excited for this one. And I also am going to bring The Summer House. I actually thrifted this from the thrift store just the other day, and I don't really know anything about it, but this is what it looks like. It looks cute, and I figured this could be something fun to read. On the front it says, the perfect book for an afternoon on the back porch with a glass of sweet tea. So figured I'd bring both of these just in case we have some free time. And I wanted to bring 2, even though we're only going to be gone for like 3 days. I can usually read pretty fast, and we have a long car ride, so I can probably finish them like in that car ride, and I don't want to be bored. A few other options that I also have is The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden, which I read one of her books already in this video, so I kind of wanted to hold off on this one. And then we also have The Ballad of Never After. So I think what I want to do is hopefully finish one or both of these books while we're on our road trip, and then when I get back, start reading this one, I think is the plan. So we'll see what's going on. But yeah, we're having a fun weekend at the cabin. Should be fun. I'm excited for it. Really excited.
I wanted to know what it's like to drive down Sunset Boulevard with you. And I just want to take one more bite of everything and every avenue. Like cold drinks.
I'm pretty sure that a storm is about to roll in. We've been hearing some thunder, so we figured it'd be fun to kind of sit out here and be all cozy and read our books. So hopefully we get some good rain. Do you hear that? Yay! Also, there's this poor paddleboarder out here. He's gonna get stuck in the rain. Oh no.
It makes you want to. Yeah, it makes you want to. I just wanna take one more sip.
Hey guys, good morning. It is again about 8 o'clock in the morning. New day. First off, I don't know if I showed you guys like clips of where I am. Like, are you kidding me? That is so pretty. But yesterday we ended up floating the river, which was super fun. That took out a huge chunk of our day. And then it ended up raining, having this huge rain and thunderstorm, which was just so fun. It was so cozy and beautiful. And it was a good time for me to sit down, and I literally read the entire book, The Love Haters by Catherine Center. I was looking up yesterday. I have read 8 Catherine Center books now. She has become one of my favorite authors. I know what to expect when I read from her. Read one of her books, because it's a clean romance, so you know there's gonna be romance in there, you know it's not gonna be spicy, and it's just so cute to read. However, this one probably was one of my least favorite books, and the reason for that being, and I feel bad for saying this, but she didn't focus on romance a whole bunch in this book, in the sense of like watching two people and their relationship develop. It was more about one girl, our main character, and she has some really serious self-confidence issues and body image issues, and in that sense I loved the book because it really like talked about, it was almost like a therapy book for her and for other people who read it, about like learning how to love yourself and to love your body and love who you are and not let other people define that, and overcome a lot of fears and anxieties about that. So that part was really beautiful and interesting. But when it came to the actual like love relationship, romantic relationship in here, I just felt like it was a little undercooked. It happened, they kissed like 3 times the whole book, and you just don't really get a ton of that relationship with each other, or with the two people in there. And at the end of the relation, or at the end of the book, when she kind of does like the epilogue and everybody is getting an update about what's going on in their lives, you don't even really get an update about how they are doing. So that was kind of frustrating. Like, you want to be able to hear that they're doing well, and instead it was just like, yeah, he works a lot and I moved closer to be with him. That was pretty much it. So because of that, not my favorite book, not my favorite way for it to end, but still very cute. And I'm so glad I brought another book with me, The Summer House. Depending on how things go today, I'm not sure really what our plans are, but we are going home, and that is a 5-hour drive. So we might be doing some of that reading on the drive home, just kind of depending to see how we feel and how tired we are. But overall, beautiful book. So glad I was able to read it, especially with this backdrop as my setting in like this rainstorm. It was just absolutely stunning, and such a great way to continue on the summer reading vlog, because it was just so cute and perfect for that. So I'm happy. Right, I am back from Idaho. I'm getting ready for the day, and before I start reading my book today, I wanted to talk about a new hair tool that I got, which I'm really excited about. This is from Amazon. This is the box it comes in. It is the Wavy Talk 5-in-1 Hot Air Brush Set. When you open it up, you can see, first off, part of it's missing because I have it right here, but this is the base right here, and it comes with 5 different brush heads that you can use. So it is like a blow dryer, so it has a diffuser and then also just one of these little like blow dryer heads. Then it also has 3 brushes, so it's got a flat brush to like straighten your hair, and then we have one of these bigger rounder brushes to kind of help with like achieve like a blowout style look, and then one of these smaller round brushes as well. So I'm excited about it. It's been a lot of fun to kind of play around with. I decided to actually go ahead and use the flat brush portion because I just want to leave my hair straight today. So you just lock it in place and start going.
You got me so bad, you make it all slow down, not getting closer, you're killing me. You got us over, I'm waking alone now, not getting closer.
Beautifully straight hair. What I really love about using this straight brush attachment is when I usually blow dry my hair before, I would have a blow dryer and a brush, and I would be like doing that together. Everything would get stuck. My blow dryer always sucks hair into the back of it. It's so frustrating and so annoying. I don't have that problem with this. I just have to use just one tool, and it goes through my hair very effortlessly. I think it's great, and I love that it will straighten my hair for me in one quick shot instead of having to use, again, 2 tools
It's quick, it's easy. I will make sure to link it down in the description below. You guys can purchase it on Amazon. I believe it's like around $40, and you get all those different brush heads as well. So a great deal. I feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck there and a lot of different things that you can do. It's going to simplify my life and your lives as well if you guys want to check it out. I'll link it again, like I said, in the description box below, but it's absolutely beautiful. It keeps my hair feeling nice and good, nice and shiny. Yeah, honestly could not be happier. I'm excited to keep trying it out. I'm all ready for the day now, and so it's time to start working on our next book in the video. This is The Ballad of Never After. In a past reading vlog, I did read the first book in this series, which is Once Upon a Broken Heart. My sister-in-law actually recommended it to me, and I was reading it right after going through a breakup, and I ended up really enjoying the book. It was more of like a fantasy, but not a lot of like I feel like a lot of the fantasy lately has been very smutty and really intense, whereas this is not so much. So it's like normal people, but there are, you know, people who make potions and try to cast spells, but then there's also the fates. And so the fates are the ones that really have like the magical powers. There's also vampires as well. But I love it when they include maps, because look how beautiful that map is. It's absolutely stunning. And then it also helps you, you know, you can go in and look and see where things are, and it kind of helps just give a little bit of an extra added background knowledge to you as you read. But what I loved about this book, as soon as it started literally like 2 days after the last book ends. And I love it when that happens, because it's like you're just picking right back up instead of having to like fast forward 6 months or a year or whatever, like a lot of the other books do typically. So I really appreciated that about this book. We have our main character, Evangeline. In the last book, she made a deal with a fate who was the Prince of Broken Hearts, I think is what his technical name is. And she made a deal with him because she didn't want the boy that she loved to marry her sister, which is what he was going to do, her stepsister, I think. And so she made a deal with him, and he turned the whole family into stone, so that way they wouldn't get married. And she went in and said, no, this is not what I wanted. I'll go into stone instead. And so she ends up saving everybody else by sacrificing herself. Eventually she does get cured and she's able to become back to her normal self. But as she does that, she has a deal with this fate that she owes him 3 kisses. And so she goes ahead and starts kind of working with him, but also not really, because she doesn't really want to help this guy out since he's kind of an evil scumbag. She ends up finding the prince of that town. Her and this prince end up getting married, and then the next day he dies, which they all blame her. So she's kind of on a path to clear her name, trying to figure out what's happening. The whole other time there's like this whole prophecy that's going on, and you're trying to figure out, you know, she's the one that obviously is going to be fulfilling the prophecy. You find that out quickly, that that's what's going to happen with her, but she doesn't want to do it because she believes that it's something bad. So in this book, it starts off right off from where we ended. Her husband is still in this like stupor of sleep. Everyone thinks that he's dead. He's actually not dead. He's just kind of like suspended, and she's trying to figure out how to cure him, and the cure is most likely going to be in the arch that she is supposed to open as part of the prophecy. But with opening the arch, you're also unleashing a lot of stuff that they don't know. People so far, I mean, again, I'm only like probably 25 pages in. So far, everyone's kind of encouraging her to start to open the arch, and I think eventually she will come to the conclusion that that is what she's going to have to do. But she's also really mad at the Prince of Hearts, who has been deceiving her this whole time. And so I believe that she will be working with him. And I also have this theory that that is actually who, because he is going to only be able to break his curse by finding his one true love. I think she's his one true love. But I don't know if we will get to that in this book, because it's a 3-part series. So I'm gonna keep reading it. I think I talked way too much about what this book is about, but I'm excited about it, and sit down and see if we can knock a good portion of this out today. I actually, this book's actually already overdue from the library, so I need to get it read very quickly so I can take it back and let the next person read it, because it does have holds on it. So yeah, that's what we're up to today. A little bit of a timeline real quick so you kind of understand what is going on. This book is actually currently overdue at my library. I've had it for like 3 weeks now at this point, And every time I picked it up, I was just having a really hard time wanting to read it, which kind of sucked because I remember I loved the first book in the series so much, and I just like, it took me like 3 weeks to kind of get through it, and finally I was like, all right, you know what? I have to finish this book for this video. I'm just gonna take it to work and I'm just gonna try to crank it out as much as I could. I was 130 pages in when I got on the train yesterday. I read it the whole time when I was on the train. Then I got off the train to go into work, read it whenever I had downtime at work, got back on the train to come home from work, read it the entire way home. I literally, in my head, thought, should I purposely miss my stop so I can keep reading and come back? I then got in my car, didn't read in my car, don't worry, I'm not that crazy. And then last night I had like 10 pages left and I finally finished the book. I read like 250 pages yesterday because it was so good. I did not, when I had to get off of my stop yesterday to drive home, I was upset because I wanted to keep reading it because I was so enamored by it. I immediately put the book down when I finished it. I requested the new book at the library. It had holds, but I did find the audio or the ebook version for my Kindle, immediately downloaded it on my Kindle, started reading it. Woke up this morning, they now have the book ready for me at the library, so I need to go back and return this one since it's overdue and get the next one. I just loved it. Like, it's literally so good. This book is a fantasy book, but it's still very clean. Like, it's not any of those crazy spicy romances or romanticities that are really popular right now. It is YA, young adult, so I think that's part of the reason is that they keep it pretty clean for that, but it's just so cute. Again, you follow our character Evangeline as she goes through trying to break this curse for her husband, and the whole time, like this one, you really start to get the relationship building between her and the Fate, and they spend it's mostly just them the whole time together, and you're really focusing on their relationship. It's so good. And the whole time, like, you know that this guy, this Fate, is a bad dude, or he comes across as being a bad dude, but you kind of get more of his backstory a little bit, and you're really rooting for him, but also in the back of your mind, you're like, all right, what is he gonna do that's gonna make everybody upset? Like, he's gonna do something that's gonna just break your heart. And he did, but then he kind of didn't. And I know that's not gonna make sense. Also, one thing that's interesting about this book, I think I filmed this, I was reading it, right? And I thought I finished it because it literally says, the end. It says it right there, the end. Then you flip the page and you realize, oh, it's not the end. And it's not like a sneak peek into the next book or anything like that, because it keeps going for a few more chapters and then it gives you the epilogue. So super interesting. And I also think she did this because in the book she talks a lot about fairy tales, and the girl reads a lot of books where the stories, because they're enchanted, the stories will change, the words will change on the page, and they'll end when they're not supposed to end, etc., etc. I think that's what she was kind of trying to do in this book, was to like make it seem like something had actually ended, but the story didn't actually end there. I rated it 4 stars. I think I should maybe rate it 5, but because it was so hard for me to get into at the beginning, I'm gonna keep it at 4 stars. So good. I just loved it, and I cannot wait to start reading the next one. I already have some other books that I have checked out from the library that I need to finish first. So for this vlog, I think we're gonna end it here on this book. If you guys have made it this far, first off, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much more than you know. YouTube has been a little bit of a struggle for me again lately. I really enjoyed filming and making content. I just feel like it hasn't really been paying off in terms of subscribers and viewership. So if you are here at this point, you really do mean so much to me, and I'm so thankful that you have made it. Go ahead and comment down a little book emoji in the comment section and let me know what favorite book that you have read so far this year, and I'll see if I can add it to my personal TBR, and I will see you all in my next video very, very soon. Bye.